Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Meble Birengo. I'm a member of the Constellation, and we are honored this day to have a team with us to discuss a little bit about the As You Open Your Eyes. I'm sure some of you have heard of As You Open Your Eyes, and maybe you do not understand what this means. So today we have a team to actually tell us a little bit about who they are and what they do.
Hello everyone. I'm David.
Hello, I'm Jessica.
And together we are Visual Development. And then, that was a project. Well, this is a project we have been doing for the last 5 years now. And basically, to say it short, what we do in visual development is to use films to bring about stories of change, stories of communities or individuals that are trying to bring a change to this world. And we see ourselves as tools to connect these people with others in a peaceful way and inspire others. That's what we do.
And you were able to link with the Constellation. How did you come to know about the Constellation? How did you get to begin doing this project?
Through a common friend, let's say. She had the possibility to help an organization to help them be better known, let's say, on worldwide. So she hooked us up with the Constellation, and we met. Well, actually, David went to meet the members of the Constellation, and I think there was chemistry right away. They hit it off. And we started speaking of the possibility of working on the project of As You Open Your Eyes, which didn't have a name at the time. And we decided to film 6 episodes around the world regarding projects that the Constellation is working on.
And I think it was when we met first time, it was a wonderful match. We both sides, we felt that way, I think, because on our side, we were really trying to connect with people that were doing meaningful things and that can resonate within ourselves with stories that we really would love to explain and to film. And on the other side, the Constellation was at that moment in a point at which they have been doing a lot of work during years, more than 12 years. But then they felt that the need to collect, document, and explain and show to others this work. So we were like 2 pieces very complementary to each other, and that got us enthusiastic and start working, as Jessica said, in these 6 examples of the Constellation work around the world. And then we were bringing all our effort and knowledge to explain these stories as well as possible.
We are all human. We all search for happiness. We all can dream. But it takes courage to dream. Others decide for us. So we lose sight of our talents, and we become blind to a world of opportunities. We stop dreaming. But there is another way. A way that reminds us of the strengths we have within and around us. That moves us to act and push ourselves far beyond our limits. A dream is only a dream, but when we dream with others, it is the beginning of reality. Among us, there are people who are achieving their shared dreams. Their stories deserve to be told. Help us bring these stories to everyone.
Marlou, you've been part of this process as well. Could you share with us your background?
The Constellation is now nicely up into its teenage years, 15 at the end of this year. And I think we have been very coherent and consequent throughout those 15 years in believing in people's strength, community strength, in their capacity to change their environment for the better of themselves and for those around them. And over the years, with people and groups in the community, we've been developing and further developing processes, a process, the community life competence process, that has been helping groups and communities in really various contexts and to various issues to adapt to what is happening to them and cope with whatever issue is there in a way that they can still live their full potential. And so people have been using the approach, have been molding it, have been adapting it, and always in a way that sometimes a global challenge could be solved for them with local solutions. And in the Constellation, we have been stimulating such local responses and connecting. We used to do that, and we still do that, through partnerships with bigger organizations, UN organizations, governments, at small scale with patient groups, with schools. So at any level with partners, by training new facilitators, by bringing the approach. But I think a couple of years ago, we realized that we can do something else as well. We can give a voice to the communities to tell their story. On the one hand, because we were curious and also want to learn through another way of what works and what is happening when a community goes through change. And on the other hand, because we thought it's time that those stories were told to the world, to different places, that people could be inspired and could appreciate all that what other people are doing. And so that they can think through, what can I do in my context to also make a contribution?
So I see from your analysis and also reflections from David and Jessica that there was a shared understanding and a shared passion for where you wanted this to go. When you met together and said, "Hey, we want to do these 6 videos together," how did you begin to plan? Who came up with as you open your eyes?
I just wanted to add that one of the main aspects of working with the Constellation that made us feel like we wanted to continue with them was that we realized how much they work on trust. And we felt that we were free to express our way of working and our way of meeting people around the world and filming them. And this was very important to us because this was one of the starting points when we started our company. It was one of the bullet points that we decided to work on. And that is that when we travel to these countries and we talk to these people, we're entering their world, their private problems and issues and victories even. And we do it from respect and from trust. So this was one of the main things that I think I felt worked for us when we started working with the Constellation. And it was the starting point to all this organization that you're talking about, and it helped in every step of the way. So we started discussing how to do it. In the beginning, it was supposed to be just one documentary. Then we decided to make 6, because that way we could tell a more global story. And
I mean, absolutely, it has been a story of based on trust. That's I think the key word, the core of our relationship, and also this has brought up many beautiful things, like both the Constellation and visual development. We feel free to express, to bring ideas. So the development of a project, of each one of these single episodes or if single documentaries, is very organic, because we start with an idea, and from that idea we see it growing, and at the end, when we see the result on the big screen, then if we compare it to the beginning, we realize the long journey we have done together, basically. And that's the second point that we really value of our relationship with the Constellation, is the flexibility. Things are moving. In filming documentaries is very changing experience, and it's very demanding, and we learn a lot also from every single experience we have. But this means that you need to be very flexible, adapt to the situation, adapt to the people, mainly to the people. That's what Jessica was mentioning.
Yeah.
We really base our work in respect. And then, that's another key issue for me of our relationship, of how things develop.
Also, I think this is very important to us, because it's not only the way they work with us. We've learned that this is the way they work as an organization. This is the basic values they have as an organization, which is something we appreciate a lot, because we see it towards us, but we see it also in the communities that we've been filming.
And for Marlou, like from the Constellations perspective, what are some of the principles or parameters or guidelines you had to share with Jessica and David before you began this project?
The fact that, yes, we want communities to tell their story. So we don't start from a script, we start from what communities want to share. And so I shared that, but I think that was also a shared value that we found together. So it was not a matter of convincing each other there, I think. And we want to show what happens to communities without that bringing individuals in problems. I think that is another shared value that we developed through working together, because sometimes community change is not only a happy story, and so conflicts happen, and that we want to show as well. We want to be honest, and but it shouldn't harm individuals, but it should tell a true story. I think that is something we have been finding out as a working value. It has, from the start, I think, been a conversation, a creative process together, getting other people in as well, and adapting. We did AERs as well. That is a Constellation way of working, learning from action, so that we can do even better next time.
Uganda is a younger country, so most resources still go to the young people. 52% of older persons did not attain any formal education, so that means the majority cannot read and write. 63% of orphans in Uganda are under the care of older persons, just because of HIV scourge that almost wiped off the middle generation. Poverty is high among older persons. Banks don't lend to older persons here. They are considered risky borrowers. So that situation puts the older persons as a vulnerable group. But the advantage is that Uganda has promulgated laws that protect and recognize older persons. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. But we cannot wait for everything to be done at that macro level. At the micro level, older persons are taking it up by themselves.
I have watched, I think, a few of the videos. One thing I've noticed is the analysis of the whole process, that you are showing a community, you are showing, they're sharing their concerns, they're able to go through their solutions, they're able to go through it all, and they're able to come out, feeling like they're celebrating their strengths. And I think that's very, very valid, looking at both where visual development is coming from and who the constellation is. Just maybe to ask David and Jessica, if you were to do a similar project with another organization, would that be the same kind of uh, visual representation of analysis you would follow, or you would adjust? Just interested in your future projects.
Well, yeah, this is, we always say that when we arrive to the place and we start filming, then we arrive to the summit of the iceberg. But before arriving there, we have had to plan and think carefully all the part of the iceberg which is underwater. And this involves a lot of pre-production, a lot of research. We really, that's the way we decided to work from the very beginning, because that's what really it makes us feel rewarded at the end, is that when we arrive to film somewhere, we know, we more or less know the situation. We have been talking with the people before that. We have let them know us. We answer questions. We are not only asking questions. We want people to know us as well. But also we need to know who's who did what, why we are there, why they want to share this story with us, how we are going to process, because we try to bring these stories, but we acknowledge we are not transparent. We are also explaining the story, so our voice will be there. So we have to decide in which terms we are going to be heard in the story as well. So it's a joint effort at the end. So answering your question, that's the way we work. And there's a lot of research. There's a lot of talking here and listening, learning, preparing, and thinking. And then when we feel we are ready, then we just go there and start filming. But that's not the end, because then you have to edit as well. But that's really the end of a part of the process.
Once you've done the filming, there's that part that you've done, but then you have a huge backlog, I think, in terms of editing, in terms of going through the narrative, subtitles. Do you have a team that is working with you, or it's just the two of you, juggling between things?
Would love to.
We'd love to. No, yeah, it's, in this case, it's just the two of us. We do it all from beginning to end, of course, with Marlou and the Constellation and all our helpers when we're traveling around the world. But with what regards the creation of the video, of the documentary, it's our work completely. So once we've done the filming there, we come back and we start organizing everything, all the material we have, and going through it once and again and again and again. And sometimes we have maybe 12, 13 hours just interviews, and then there's all the scenes that go after that. And basically we have to memorize, especially the interviews, what is being said, and try to make one sentence connect to the next one and have a flow in the whole documentary. So I think it's the difficulty and the pleasure of editing. It's a puzzle every time, and but it's a lot of fun. We enjoy it. So
and also I would say also that the fact that we are the two of us facing all the stages in the production, of course it would be wonderful if we could work with a team of other professionals that can bring their knowledge to the film, and it would be improved for sure. But at the same time, on the other side, the fact that it's the two of us only can give us a sense that we really craft every single step, keeping in mind what will come after. So we know how we want to edit, so we know how we want to film it, and we think of this at the beginning when we plan the scenes. Everything, we're gaining coherence because we are on top of every single step along the process. That's something that we enjoy doing it, and really that makes us be more flexible when we change something as well.
Yeah, but also once we finish let's say the first draft, we send it to Marlou, and she connects with a group of people with different expertise, let's say. So they help us out, and they give us feedback and comments on what they think could be done better or different, or according to also their personal choices and taste, let's say. And that helps us a lot too, because of course you dive into this story, and sometimes you see the same thing over and over and over again, and at the end you don't see things anymore, because it becomes, your brain just becomes so used to seeing everything. So it's a big help when we have this group of people giving us comments and feedback. Then at that point it becomes a group effort.
It is.
Yeah.
Dduyiro nedda buli lunaku bw'ozuukuka bw'oti mu kitanda kyo okola dduyiro waffe nga bwe twali tukola, n'okyusa ku mutwe byonna kwegamba n'owulira nga oli bulungi. Kati agenda okudda next time okujja okusinkana ng'olaba ebyali biganye ng'akola ki, ng'asobola. Ekyo kinsanyusa.
In the association there are many things that make us laugh. Someone may decide to grumble for nothing, and we laugh. Sometimes someone may fail to stand up, we laugh.
Tujokinga nnyo tusaaga kwegamba temuyinza kuva mu group oba meeting yatugamba ngo kutuliko obutulisi n'otulika n'oseka wa mukisenge ekyo nnyonyo kwegamba nagira mawugo gano nikakola ki n'oseka ebitaliiyo naife tusanyuka ne tusaaga ne tuseka kiba kirungi nnyo, kikyusa embeera.
Can you walk us through from the first one to where you are, just the titles?
The films that have been already finished are The Dancing Yajas, which was filmed in Uganda, in Entebbe community. And then we have also finished the movie we filmed in Mauritius Island, in a community called Post Lafayette, and the film is The Match of Our Lives. And then, we have also filmed a community in France called Ami Toyen, and this is in the edit phase nowadays. We also have filmed in Indonesia, in an island called Saparua, and this is also under the editing process now. And now, in a matter of days, we are getting ready. Everything is the equipment, all the suitcases are around us now, because we are taking a plane to Thailand to be there for a month filming the community living in Chiang Mai. And then, so this is going to be the filming part of it. We have done all the pre-production now, and now we will start with the filming. And then towards the end of the year, when all these editing projects have been finished, then we will film refugees communities of refugee people living in the Netherlands. So no planes in our case for that, but a lot of also interior travel personnel basically here in the Netherlands. Plus the state of the...
Yeah, and what makes it interesting, I think, is that every community has a completely different story and a completely different subject. Like he was saying that in the Netherlands, we're going to film a group of refugees, but in Uganda, it was a group of elderly people. In Mauritius Islands, it was a group of kids living in a difficult community where there was a lot of alcoholism. In France, it was a community of people who are trying to come together and build a co-housing. Yeah, the themes are completely different.
Yeah. Just one thing that I like to add, and that comes back to also the name, As You Open Your Eyes. When I hear this collection of communities again, it just makes me happy, because I realize those are all people we could look at as fragile people and helpless people, but they show themselves, and I think through the lens of David and Jessica, they show even better as strong people who are capable to do something. So that is what I really like. It opens our eyes to look at people differently and to handle situations differently. And I think that is what the filming does and what it does to the audience when watching. And stay tuned, because yes, there is a website, asyouopenyoureyes.com, and there is a Facebook group. So like the Facebook group and see what David and Jessica will be doing in Thailand, and how the next episodes will develop in the coming year.